Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka Batbomb82, and today I'll be doing a review of the VToys Death Knight. Now, as you can see, the figure comes in an enclosed box with a really cool image of Death Knight. So with the box out of the way, let's crack this figure open and let him breathe. Alright guys, so the Death Knight is finally here. I feel like we've been waiting a long time for this piece, man. And he looks really freaking cool. Now, I'll say right off the bat, this thing does have some problems, and I'll go about that as we move on. But overall, I'm really liking this, even with its issues. Now, the sculpt is just insane. That head, it just looks ridiculously cool. He looks like he's wearing like this molten lava rock armor or something. I don't know, but I love it, man. You got this really nice red bat symbol, almost via like the Batman Beyond logo, kinda, you know. But it has like this two-tone like blacks and grays in there, and it really looks nice, man. And you got little hints of gold like here around like the waist area, like almost like a utility belt type of thing. The sculpting of like these heads right here on the shoulder pads are insanely cool looking. I mean, everything about this is just covered in like detail and texture, and it's really amazing to see here. What's really cool about these shoulder pads, these are removable. You got a little magnet in it, it's holding them in place. You can see they are marked, like this one has an L for the left shoulder, and they are soft rubbery type of plastic, so they shouldn't hinder articulation whatsoever. This one did fall off on me. You can kind of see the magnet came off here and stuck in there, so it just needs to replace it with some glue. So I'm just going to try and do that. So it's going to probably fall off on me numerous times throughout this video. So that's one issue that I had pretty much right out of the box. But everything else about this, man, looks so freaking cool. I am really digging this. Even things like the spikes on the knees, you know, you got the little spikes coming off of the boots right there. He's got like claws here at the bottom of the feet. We do get peg holes, that's really nice. So again, I love everything about this right here. We even got a magnet on the back. I get a little more of that gold. And I love how the back of this is almost shaped like a little bat right there, so that's pretty interesting as well. But yeah, man, the texture, I mean, the paint, all really high quality stuff. I'm just very impressed with this. And VToys, I think, man, they're getting better and better in my opinion. They are, you know, they're a third-party company, but they are not a small company to mess with. I think they're doing some really cool stuff. In my opinion, this is definitely proof of that. All right, so now let's talk accessories here. So of course we do get interchangeable hands. We do get more like open palm hands, which look really nice. You got more gripping hands for holding his different types of weapons. You have different types of curled finger hands or other types of gripping hands if you like that. He does come with close-fisted hands in the package. One thing I'm gonna say too, like I've talked about heating this figure up, you're gonna want to heat all these hands up before you put them on the little pegs here. They are so incredibly tight. You do need to loosen it up with some warm water or whatever you feel is best for you. I just run them under hot water, so to get them on there, they're going to be impossible almost right out of the package. So you got to heat them up first. Do not snap your wrist peg. This figure doesn't come in extras, so just be very careful. We also do get extra heads, which I love. So again, we got the standard one right here, which is straight up Batman head. We got this skull head that looks really cool. I love the sculpt of this. The paint apps look great. I dig this a lot. You can put this on the peg right here, and it is a tight fit. Again, same thing with the heads. You're going to want to heat the heads up as well before you put them on the actual peg. But that looks ridiculous, honestly. And the size, honestly, isn't bad. Like, it looks like that skull would fit under this mask. I think the big problem is it sits very high, so it looks almost out of proportion, but they're really not that much of a difference. So like you said, I'll put this one back on right here, and since it sits lower, it looks more proportioned. So maybe the skull is slightly smaller, but I don't think it's too off base. So it just sits really high. So I'll probably just have this like held in his hand or something like that and pose it like that. What's also really cool, man, and this is what I'm tempted of, we get this head right here with that one on like that. This to me is like the Death Knight head. So you have the Batman head, you have the skull head, and this is like the straight up Death Knight head. So that thing looks amazing. I love the way that turned out. The horns are pretty pointy, so just be very careful when you're putting this on. Again, heat up these heads before you pop them on there. I was trying to push this on without heating up, and I kept stabbing myself in my fingers. So just again, be very, very careful, but I think that looks so dope, man. So I love those personal two options. The peg came out. See, and that's happened to me a couple times where the peg sticks to the head and instead of the actual neck itself. So you got to be very careful with this. So again, that's what I'm trying to tell you. This figure does have its problems out of the box. So that's just another thing that I'm talking about here. So we're gonna have him. You know, I'm just gonna leave the head on. I really do like that head anyway, so it looks really cool. We also get this really dope lantern. This thing looks so cool, man. I love the way it's turned out. It has a little clear glass kind of thing right there. The points, the corners are pointed like that and really sharp. You do get a little hook that you can hang on there, and you can hang it onto him anywhere you like, or maybe on his belt or in his hand. And you'll see some pictures with this later on, but I love the way that looks. It is such a cool accessory. Really, really happy about this. I love the way that turned out. We also do get some weapons here. We do get this really nice sword, big fat sword with a red eye, some gold trim, some nice rusty metal, gunmetal right there. I think this looks really, really cool. Very nice looking blade. But we also get this big beefy boy. I love this one, man. The sculpting on this looks so good. Again, just like the suit itself, very textured. Lots of great paint nibs. Has that almost like lava eye right there with the lava going through there. The paint nibs just look awesome. It's a big sword. You can just kind of see how it is next to him. But we also get this. This is the weapon I'm going to have him with. This scythe right here looks so good. Much like the sword I just showed you right there. Has that almost like lava texture. The paint apps look great. All that wash in there. A little bit of gold trim on there. Looks so good. I love the way it's turned out, man. And again, it's like bigger than him side to side like that. It is actually standing taller than him. So I love the way that works. Now, the last thing that we do get here is going to be his cape. I love this cape so much. First of all, it's big, it's billowy, it has like a dirtiness to it. You see all the paint right here, little shredded holes and things like that. So it's kind of a really worn cape. But I also love the fact that it is on a bendy wire, so that's really good. Same thing with the hood here. And we do get ear holes for his like Batman actual head. So let me see if I can take this off again without pulling that peg off. There you go. So there, it worked that time. Put that Batman head back on. And now how this is going to work, you'll see around the collar of the cape, you see these little tabs right here. Oops, you're going to actually slide them into the section of the chest. And you can see in the chest right here, there are little gaps where you can actually slide these in. Now, what I prefer to do, I prefer to take off the head and do it. It just works easier that way, I noticed. And you're going to kind of slide those in right there, like that. And then I'm going to get the other one and then put it in there like this. If I could, it's a little tricky to do on camera, but let me get it in there like that. Oh, man. This is kind of a pain in the butt, honestly. Am I getting it in there? I can't tell. And now you guys are just watching me struggle, so that's got to be fun for you. Oh, there we go. That worked perfectly. So that, pull the hood back, get that head back on like so. That works out good. So now you have that. Then you can pull the hood over, and then the ears will poke through those holes like that. And then you can go ahead and shape the hood around the actual head like that, and boom, then now you have that really cool look. I think that looks so awesome. I love that for display. Again, with the scythe and the lantern, it's gonna all be really, really cool. And one thing I did notice, as I was messing around with him, again, the shoulder pad just came off. The magnet itself came out as well from the shoulder. But now this piece came off, the little skirt piece right here. I've tried gluing these pieces back on. Maybe I just have really terrible glue, but these are not staying for me, man, and knocked them off a couple times. So it's been really finicky, honestly, trying to pose around this guy and do things and take pictures. Hopefully you don't have this problem. You might just get some good glue these back on, and it'll be fine. But still, it is kind of annoying seeing that kind of stuff happen. But again, even with those issues, dude, I still really like the look of this figure. I think he's awesome. So lots of cool stuff with this piece. Okay, so let's go ahead and run down articulation now. I want to do that with just pretty much him bare. I'm just going to leave the shoulder pads on. And again, this one might fall off, so I'm just letting you guys know. The head is on a ball joint. It rolls around pretty decently. Does turn left and right, so that's pretty nice. Up about that far, down about that much, and you can kind of pivot side to side a bit. The arms can go all the way up like this far, like that. About that much. That's pretty good. Again, you could always put the that thing back on like that. It won't go high up that much with the shoulder pad, just because it'll lose connection from the magnet, but they can go up that far. There is a slight butterfly joint in there that works okay. It's almost unnecessary, but it is there. Go ahead and put that back on. We also do get, see, that just fell off of there. I'm just gonna take these off. We do get rotation at the biceps. These are very, very tight, so you might want to loosen these up before you do anything. It is very, very tight on both sides, so that's something to note. We got double jointed elbows that bend very nicely, very solid pieces right here. We get rotation at the wrist as well as a hinge at the wrist, so that works out pretty good as well. Trying to see if I can get these back on. This is gonna be a problem for me, man. I should have just glue this back on as soon as I possible, but it's just not going to stay, so yeah, you just leave them off. We do get a double ball peg in the midsection right here that goes into the crotch and into his upper chest, so you get a lot of good motion there. That works out very nicely. Does turn left and right, pivot side to side very nicely, crunches back about that far, which I think is pretty good, all the way forward that far, which is very nice. So you get a lot of good motion there. This skirt piece right here, this whole belt area, is a mix and match of like soft plastic and hard plastic. Like these flaps on the side and this whole section in the crotch area is more harder plastic, held on by little strips, and the band itself right here is more of a softer plastic. But still, you can kick forward about that far, back about that much, splits out about that far. That's pretty good. There's a ball peg in there, so you can rotate up in there. You can get double jointed knees about that much, so that's pretty nice. Then you do get ankle joints that go up around ball pegs, down. We can rotate, so that's pretty good. And while it's a decent ankle rocker, the sculpt of these ankles, it hinders a little bit, but it's decent. It could be better. So the articulation works very well, I think, in my opinion. It is, again, pretty tight in some areas. I do have the first VToys Batman that came out. For the life of me, I do not know where it's at, so sadly I cannot do comparison pictures later on. But that one had a lot of loose joints, and I know they went back and kind of redid that body a bit to make it tighter. So this one is the antithesis of that, because this guy is very tight. So again, you might want to loosen some things up here and there, especially those biceps. I noticed those were the tightest things. Just be very, very careful. I'd run the whole thing in water and just loosen it up a bit, but still love this piece. I am so stoked to have it, and in my opinion, he's definitely a must get. So for a quick size comparison, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool and McFarlane Batman figure. Also for comparison, here he is standing next to the VToys Robin and Mezco 112 Collective Supreme Knight Batman. And just for fun, here he is with little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of the VToys Death Knight. Now overall, I really enjoy this figure. He is so badass. The sculpt is amazing, so intricate and detailed. I love all the paint apps. They are solid, they are clean, they are gorgeous, and all the cool accessories, man, those are impressive. Things like that lantern just totally rock. I love the big scythe and the big swords with that lava look to them. All look really cool. I love the different interchangeable heads. Those are really impressive. I mean, man, this thing just works so cool, and the articulation is nice and solid. I really do love it. Now, my issues. I had multiple parts fall off on me. Luckily, they aren't broken. They just came unglued, so I just need to get some better glue to put them on. But it was still pretty annoying to have that happen, so just be very careful. And again, if that happens to you, just glue them on. They should be fine. Anything else would have to be the tight joints. You know, you're really going to want to heat those up. They can be very, very tight, so just be very careful. You don't want to snap anything, especially when it comes to interchanging things like the heads and the hands. You're gonna want to heat those up. Don't even attempt to do it without it. You don't want to break this piece. Even with those issues, he's so awesome. I've been having a lot of fun with him. He is an impressive looking figure. I am so stoked to have him, and for me, he is definitely a must get. So please comment, like, and subscribe. Stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.